My name is Chuck Froning, and I am an assistant principal and athletic director here at Northern, and it is absolutely my pleasure and our pleasure, if I talk on behalf of all of our administrators, to have these sorts of commitment or signing events for our athletes throughout the year. So anyhow, just a couple of words before we get going here. A couple of things that, as a former college athlete myself, looking back on decades ago, you know, some of the things that these guys have in front of them are incredible. Lots of tough times, you know, in terms of the effort and time, sweat that it takes to make it through both a collegiate sport and then excelling in the classroom is a unique experience in its own. Which leads me to say that, you know, for most people that go on to college to play athletics, it is simply a different way of extending one's education, and it's you know, a privilege to extend your education to the University of North Carolina, Greensboro, and Siena Heights as a student athlete. It's something that you guys have done for all your lives, and now you get to continue that. And there just aren't that many people who get to do that, you know, extend that student athlete experience. So congratulations to you guys, congratulations to family too. So anyhow, without any more, we want to say that these guys have been great representatives of Northern High School. We hope to hear from them, you know, in the future. We hope they feel like they can come back and share their college expertise in the next year or two or three and come back and share some of those things with our athletes. It's awesome to see teammates here because, you know, it's great to aspire. These guys are examples to their teammates, their younger teammates many times, so that they so that their younger teammates have goals to aspire to. So anyhow, congratulations to them. Let's give them a round of applause. And Coach Ryan Jay, our Northern lacrosse coach, will say just a couple things about young Dan.
Dan is a player. I started coaching last year. Last year was my first year here, and Dan was the defensive midi. And I asked him to switch to offensive midi, and he did everything I asked him to do and then some. I have no reservations about him going on to college and being someone that contributes right away to the program at Siena Heights. He's very coachable, a very hard worker, and I look forward to hearing about his future. Thank you.
And Coach Maloney. Coach Maloney is who Dan will be reporting to next.
We're looking forward to having Dan play in our program. We're a relatively new program. We're going into our 5th year. And I can tell you one of the things that we look for in a lacrosse player, not just the skills, we can find that anywhere. We're looking for good team players. Our program's been very successful over the last 2 years. Dan fits that mold in terms of a good team player, being an offensive midi, defensive midi. And freshmen, as Coach said, freshmen in our program come into play right away. If you want to follow Dan, starting hopefully in a day or two, once I get the pictures, follow us at our Men's Lacrosse Facebook, and you'll see him and the team and what they're doing for the next 4 years. Thanks a lot.
Dan's career in lacrosse started with baseball. Believe it or not, many years ago, there was not a lacrosse program in the Walled Lake area. And then his first couple of years in baseball, Dan was the sandcastle maker. He was the person out in the third base or out in the outfield, you know, trying to find a bug or something like that. So when lacrosse came along, we says, you know what, his attention span, he needs lacrosse. And ever since then, it flourished. All the teams could count on him to be that player, to play defense, score a goal, be a goalie, whatever it was in the beginning to where he is now. So we give our thanks to what he did in baseball, or didn't do in baseball.
I can't really tell. So thank you everyone for coming. This is a great honor for all of us, and very appreciative. But again, yeah, baseball. We're glad that it happened for him. I'm glad that lacrosse came along when it did. Thank you.
Okay, Coach Gus. Interesting, if you didn't all see this, that the Spartans on here are maize and blue. That's an interesting combination.
Okay, my name is Coach Gus Dumlau. I've been lucky to be Courtney's coach for 2 years. Before that, Coach Renee Miller was an outstanding coach. Had the pleasure of coaching her for the first 2 years. That being said, she's been a 4-year varsity player here at Northern, and she's been very accomplished. Just under the 2 years that I've been here, she has racked up a number of awards. Last year, she was KLA All-Conference, MIVCA All-Region, and then part of the team that had earned the All-State Team Academic. And then for this year, she was a team captain, very influential and giving. She's getting her 4-year plaque for being on varsity for 4 years, and she earned an all-tournament team award at Cosmo High School's early season tournament. And then I'll announce right now, usually I wait until banquet. Some other people have been asking me about what they're getting, and I said you gotta wait for banquet, but since this is a very special day, I'll give it up. She made all region again this year, and she's being, she made basically a short list of players from our region who will be considered for All-State. All-State will be determined day after the finals for MHSAA, which it's not for sure that she gets it, but it's quite an honor to get to that step, because we're in a very strong region for volleyball. We compete against Novi players, Northville players, Lakeland, a bunch of really solid programs, and for her to get to that short list is a really great accomplishment. So, great job. So, and then, of course, the college signing. So this is like totally outstanding, and I want to thank you for being a part of the WLN program, and it's been an honor to be your coach.
First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for coming too for the celebration. It's we're pretty proud of my little girl. When we first came here, I think we walked into a gym in Walled Lake Central and we saw Renee, the coach from Walled Lake Central, and Courtney weighed all about 110 pounds soaking wet. String bean, no muscles on her, and I said, "Can you do anything with this?" Anything at all. They're looking at it, say, "We'll make something out of it." And they had a vision, and we had a good friend, Jane DePotter, that did a lot for this volleyball program as well over the years. And she said, "No, Courtney ought to play volleyball. She's a volleyball player." So after struggling through softball and soccer and all the other sports, I was afraid she's going to kill herself. Volleyball ended up being the sport that she took. And her nicknames when she came in, I think the first nickname was Bambi. That didn't work. Wobbly knees, skinny. The second one to Spidey. So Spidey stuck for a long time with her, and until I think this year, I think the D1 came up. I think that kind of went back and forth. So the nicknames changed, but her effort never stopped, and her dedication, and not only her dedication, but her mom's with her. So she gave up a lot. She traveled. You have to travel. You have to give up a lot when you dedicate yourself to a sport. Most of her siblings, her sister ran track at Hillsdale, and her brother played football at Northwood. But they all know what it's like. You have to give up things. You have to sacrifice. You have to work hard. And if you all, I watch you all play this season, and the freshmen and the JVs are working hard. They're coming up. There's some great individuals on the varsity program that are young, that are coming up. They're going to do just fine. So it's going to be continue to be exciting years here for Walled Lake Northern for volleyball. So it's going to be really fun to watch, and we'll come watch. We'll come over and watch. So the biggest things again is I'm proud of Courtney for her commitment, for her dedication, and for just ending up where she is and earning this scholarship.
Full ride, yeah. That's why you love it.
Yeah. So good job.
I can't speak without crying, so thank you all for coming.
Before we finish up here, one of the things that I've said before I think is really important, and once again I kind of talk to these guys more than anything else. It's impossible to look back over the years and for East Tech to look back over the years and think of all the people that had just even the smallest amount of impact in their lives. In school and in sports. Typically, when a student athlete gets to this level, it's been more than just volleyball, over the years. And it's been more than just lacrosse. Dan, it was baseball, I know. But anyhow, if you look back, there have been so many teachers, so many other parents, grandparents, that have really added and contributed to who they are today. And there's been a couple of banquets that I've talked at that I've tried to emphasize. It really takes a village of people to grow up a kid and to grow up a program. And certainly, as we sit here today, there's a village of teammates. There's a village of parents, a village of grandparents and coaches who allow this to happen. So, on their behalf, we'll say thank you, and I hope I will encourage them to think about those people as you go along. You'll start to think about those people more when you're in Adrian, Michigan, and when you're in Greensboro, North Carolina, and you're thinking that, that they did an awesome job of bringing you up. So anyhow, round of applause, and then let's